Good morning everyone, myself Sanjay Kumar. Today in this lecture we are going to discuss about 4-point start. Now we already discussed about 3-point starter. So from the 3-point starter, the necessity of starter and what is the function of overload coil and what is the function of no volt coil we already discussed. So in 3-point starter, mainly in 3-point starter we observed that no volt coil in series with field winding. Okay, so if no volt coil is in series with field winding, what happens if there is any change in the field current which will affects the no volt coil? That means if you change the speed of the motor, then speed automatically changes. We know that the formula, so EB is equal to pi z NP by 60A. So EB is proportional to pi into N. So if EB is constant, pi is inversely proportional to N. If N decreases, flux is going to be increases. So whereas flux decreases, speed is going to increases. So I cannot keep flux going to be constant. So the speed may not be varied by keeping flux same value by using 3-point starter, especially in compound motors. Suppose I have to keep the flux constant, I have to vary the speed. So we already having series winding, shunt winding and armature winding in compound motors, so that we need one extra terminal for to control the speed by keeping the flux constant. We can vary the speed by keeping the flux constant. So that's why we are going to design a 4-point starter which will makes this issue very clear, that we can keep the flux constant. We cannot disturb the field current. We are not going to disturb the field current, so that we can vary the speed or current in armature, so that this elaborates and this will gives the connection diagram for 4-point starter. So we already discussed that the main function of starter is to limit the starting current, and it will makes that by using, we are used a extra resistance in series with the armature. We already discussed it. So armature current is given by V by Ra when Eb is equal to 0 if speed is equal to 0. This is at starting. Okay, initially back EMF is 0, so that your starting current is very high in armature. That's why we are adding extra resistance. That means V by Ra plus some Rx extra resistance is connected. Now in 4-point starter, I am introducing a brass arc. So this is given by a brass arc placed here. So it is also exactly parallelly connected to the same resistance, but the function of this arc is going to be different from your 3-point starter. So let us see how it is going to be worked. Now first we will see the main difference, constructionally difference between 3-point starter and 4-point starter. In 3-point starter, you can see here this field winding and no volt coil both are connected in series. So current flowing through the field winding is flowing through the no volt coil. So when the field winding current is 0, so no volt coil is demagnetized, so that your motor is in safe condition. Why? The field suddenly opens, the speed of the machine is going to increases to very dangerous speed. So that's why we connected the no volt coil in series with the field winding. But now I am separating that, so that I am getting some extra resistance. So we can call it as a protective resistance or safe resistance in series with the no volt coil, and this field terminal is also I am getting there, so that both are forming a parallel connection. Okay, you can see here the brass arc is connected from this point. I am dividing both terminals, so that means one field winding and one N. So it is divided parallelly into the two lines. Okay, so the field winding and the load, armature and end terminal, so all are connected. So all are connected for this 4-point starter, whereas in 3-point starter we are having only 3 terminals. Okay, here we are having the 4 terminals. So that is the main constructional difference, is the end terminal is difference from your 3-point starter. Okay, now if you see the working of this 4-point starter, when we close the DPST switch, the current starts flow through the line terminal and entering into the handle. So this handle also having a brass arc here and soft iron piece and also starting resistance. Now you can see the current is flowing into the brass arc. So from brass arc it is going to divided. You can see here first position, second. You can see here at first position, if you start from off to first position, so the current, you can see here the current is flowing into the starting resistance and it is entering into the armature. But the current entering into the brass arc, you can see here, so this current is dividing between NVC and field winding. So it is a parallel connection. The current is dividing takes place here. Some current is flowing through field winding and some current is flowing through the resistance. Okay, so once you move the second point, that means resistance 2, so again this current is dividing between NVC and field winding, and this armature current as usually flowing through here, and the working how your motor is going to pick up the speed is same. So initially it will give a flux, so that your armature having some residual magnetism, and which will increases the EMF further, and when flux increases it will cut the armature conductors, again EMF will be induces, so which will drives the mechanical loads. But initially you have to get the rated EMF, that means back EMF, which drives against voltage. So up to that we are not going to drive, it is total instantaneous, within the fraction of seconds it is going to be happen. It will produce the flux, it cuts, and again it field current increases, again it is going to be cuts the armature conductors. So as you are moving the handle from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 position, so this total resistance is going to be decreases. Why? So initially resistance is this much, as you are going for number 2, so R1 resistance is bypassed. If you go for number 3, R2 resistance is bypassed, R3, R4, R5, R6. Now finally you reaches the run, then your armature picks up its rated speed. So at this position what is happening, now your handle is moving to this position. Now there is a NVC. So NVC, what is the main function of NVC we discussed? So NVC, the main function of NVC, the same function in as 3-point starter. So NVC main function is to hold the starter handle. Okay, hold the starter handle. Similarly brass arc, so what is the function of brass arc? Divides the current between field and NVC. Okay, so just writing the main, what is the function of each component. So once you reaches the run position, this handle moves to here, so total line current is flowing to the armature, and at this position, so the current, field current again divided into the NVC and this resistance, protecting resistance, so that whenever a no volt coil is going to be released, if the power supply is going to be cut off, now this motor is going to be protected by this extra resistance connected in series with the no volt coil. So this no volt coil is supplied from the parallel connection of field winding. So when there is a field current required to change, the speed may not going to affect this. Okay, so the extra resistance is provided to limit the current, and this N, you can say that this is a no volt coil connection. So N terminal, letter is given for this terminal. So line, a no volt coil connection, field and armature connections are given. So when there is a supply is going to be cut off, so field winding is connected parallelly to the no volt coil. Okay, so once this supply is going to be cut off, this no volt coil is going to be demagnetized and this handle come back to the original position. You can see here the connection of no volt coil in parallel to the field winding. So this is going to be not affected when there is a speed requirement. That means speed will be constant and flux is going to be changes. Okay, and if you see, the overload release coil is similar to 3-point starter. When there is a excessive current flowing through overload release coil, so it will attract the lower triangular piece and which short circuits the no volt coil here. You can see here, if no volt coil is short circuited, again this is connected to the brass arc. So this total circuit is going to be short circuited, which will pull the no volt release coil to off position. So like this, 3-point starter and 4-point starter both are meant for limit the starting current, but 4-point starter mainly controls the flux. In 3-point starter, once you fix the speed and field, if you change the field current immediately, your no volt coil is going to be operated. It may be affected, so it may demagnetize it. But whereas here we can change the field current, so no volt coil is not going to be affected. So it can remains, it can hold the handle in safe conditions, so that you can change the flux if you need above rated speed or below rated speed. So that's why you can keep the speed constant also, so that you can change the field current. Okay, so in compound motors we can see here we are having a one series winding and one shunt winding, so that if necessary to change the flux, we can go for this operation. So 4-point starter is also similar to 3-point starter, except the parallel connection of NVC and field winding. And the overload release coil also same function as 3-point starter. So when there is a, you can also see here, OLR, excessive current flows, it attracts the triangular piece, so which short circuits the NVC and power is going to be cut off for this motor. So this is the working, how it is going to be work in 4-point starter, except the constructionally it is having a brass arc which will divide the current between field winding and no volt coil, so that it can, some extra resistance R is also provided to protect the DC motor and also no volt coil. Now we will solve a simple problem on DC motor. If flux changes, what is the effect on speed? So the question is, a 200 volts DC generator supplies 4 kilowatts at 200 volts. The armature resistance is 0.4 ohms and shunt resistance is 40 ohms. If the machine is to be operated as motor at same terminal voltage and armature current, calculate the speed of generator if motor speed is 1000 rpm and flux decreases by 5%. Now in this problem, a DC machine acts as a generator as well as a motor. Okay, so if the motor speed is 1000 rpm and the flux decreases by 5%, we know that if flux decreases, speed will be increases. So flux and speed both are inversely proportional, and armature resistance and field resistance is given. The condition is at same terminal voltage and armature current. So the armature current delivering from the armature for motor and generator will be same. The direction will be different for motor and generator. If it is a generator, current delivers and current dividing into load and shunt field current, whereas in motor the line current is coming divided into shunt and armature. So the armature current is fixed, then we have to find out what is the speed of generator if motor speed is 1000 rpm and the flux decreases by 5%. Now we will go for the solutions. So overall we have to calculate the both cases as a generator as well as a motor. Then it will be very easy to understand this problem. Now for the solution, write the given data. Okay, a 200 volts. First write a DC generator having voltage. So for DC generator the voltage will be always load voltage. Okay, so the voltage will be load voltage. V is equal to 200 volts and output power is given. So generator output is always electrical, so the output power is given. It is nothing but 4 kilowatts is equal to 4000 watts, and armature resistance is given. So armature resistance is given, RA is equal to 0.4 ohms, and shunt field resistance is given. Shunt field resistance is given, or SH is equal to 40 ohms. Now if the machine, this generator acts as a motor, so what will happen? So I can write here as a motor, what is the data is given at same terminal voltage and same armature current. So for that the terminal voltage will be same, so I can indicate with the V. So terminal voltage given by V, so same for both motor and generator case. And the armature current is also, so armature current, so I can write here armature current in generator, that is I can indicate with IAG. Subscript G stands for generator armature current is equal to motor armature current. So it is nothing but IAM. Okay, so from this IAG is equal to IAM. Now motor armature current and generator armature current both are same. The terminal voltage is also same. Now we have to find out what is the change in speed if motor speed is given and also flux relation is given. So the important parameter is what is the generated voltage and what is the back EMF in these two cases. If you find out that, we can evaluate the relation for flux and speed. Okay, so we have EB is proportional to pi into N. So it is necessary to evaluate EG and EB for both cases. Now EG in the case of generator and EB in the case of motors. Now EG is equal to, as a generator, EG is equal to V plus IA into RA. So EG is equal to, terminal voltage is 200 volts plus the armature current, so IA into RA. So what is the value of RA? 0.4. Now we have to find out armature current. So this is generator current, I am giving IAG. Similarly, as a motor, EB is equal to V minus IA RA. Now EB is equal to 200 minus IAM into 0.4. Now this is equation 1 and this is equation number 2. Now both the cases IA is equal to IAG, but IAG is equal to IAM. So we are having all the unknown terms EB, EG and IAG. So we have to calculate IAG or IM in terms of load current and shunt current. Okay, so we have IA is equal to IL plus ISH. This is in the case of generator, and also IA is nothing but IAG. You can write IM equal to IL minus ISH in the case of motor. Now if you find out load current and shunt field current, we can evaluate IAG and IM for both cases. Okay, so in both cases it is equal to same. So if you find out one current, it will be equal to the generator current as well as motor current. Now let us see how you calculate IAG and IM. So IL as well as ISH. I am taking of this data. So given data you can check out from the problem. Now IAG, so first I calculating load current. IL is equal to output power divided by voltage. So we know that in generator the load current is, can also write in generator IL is equal to P out by V, output power by V. So what is output power? 4000 watts divided by, what is the voltage? 200. So you will get load current as 20 amperes. Similarly, shunt field current ISH is equal to V by RSH. So V is equal to 200 and RSH is equal to 40 ohms. You will get 5 amperes. Now IL is given and ISH is calculated. IL and ISH both are calculated. We can calculate the generator current as well as motor current. Okay, so if you calculate IAG is equal to 20 plus 5, 25 amperes. Now this will be equal to the your motor. So this case is okay, remain same, but when it runs as a motor, so the current will be equal to the your generator current. So 25 amps will be the current we can calculate. So it's supplying a generator. So this data is belongs to generator. So that's why I am taking IAG is equal to 25 amperes. So this relation is okay, but the data is belongs to generator. So we will make the armature current is equal to 25 amperes. Now if IAG is 25 amperes, so IAM also 25 amperes. Okay. Now IAG, IAM both are 25 amperes. Then what is the generator case, generated EMF, and what is the case in terms of back EMF? Okay. So substituting IAG and IAM in equation 1 and 2. Now if you substitute IAG equal to 25 in equation 1 and IIM 25 in equation 2. So what you will get now, if you calculate, you can write here. Now from equation 1, so what is equation 1? EG is equal to 200 plus IAG. What is IAG value? 25. So 25 into 0.4. So 25 into 4, we can get 10. So 210 volts is equal to EG. Similarly, from equation 2, so EB is equal to V minus IA RA. So IA is IAM, nothing but 200 minus 25 into 0.4, again 10, 200 minus 10, 190 volts. Now this is the back EMF. Now you can see here generated EMF is 210 volts and back EMF is 190 volts. Now this EB belongs to motor and the motor speed is given, and this generated EMF is calculated, but we have to calculate the speed. Now you can see the relation. We have EB is proportional to Nm. I am saying Nm is the motor speed. Nm is the motor speed. Okay. So EB is proportional to Nm. So we can also write as pi m. So pi m, we forget pi m into Nm, whereas pi m is the motor flux. Okay. Similarly, Eg is proportional to pi g into Ng, so that we can write pi g is equal to generator flux and Ng is equal to generator speed. Now you see the relations. EB is proportional to pi Nm and Eg is proportional to pi g and Ng. Now from EB we can written as from here. So Nm is proportional to EB by pi m, and from here Ng is proportional to Eg by pi g. Now you can consider this as equation number 3 and equation number 4. Now you observe this motor speed is proportional to back EMF and inversely proportional to motor flux, and generator speed is directly proportional to generated EMF and inversely proportional. Now the condition is given, the motor flux decreases by 5%. So nothing but in terms of your generator flux, it decreased by a 5%. So if generator flux is pi g, so what is the motor flux decrement? In 5%. So let us say if pi g is the motor flux, generator flux, pi g is the generator flux, so 5% of the flux decreased to run motor. So pi m is equal to 95% of pi g, nothing but pi m is equal to 0.95 into pi g. Now this much amount of flux is required. So you can see here, if the motor flux is pi n, that is 5% of generator flux decreases, you can see here the generator speed is greater than motor speed, so the flux is going to decrease. Now pi m is equal to 0.95 pi g and pi g is the generator flux. So from equation 3 and 4 we can written as, so generator speed is proportional to generated EMF by generated flux, and motor speed is directly proportional to back EMF by motor flux. Now dividing equation Ng, that means equation 3 and equation 4, So dividing equation 3 by 4, so what you will get, Ng by Nm is equal to Eg by Eb. So why Ng, Eg both are proportionals, Nm and Eb both are proportional but inversely proportional to motor flux and generator flux. Now substituting all the values, substituting Nm, Eg, Eb, pi m and pi g. So what you will get, Ng by 1000, what is 1000? Motor RPM, and Eg is equal to 210 and Eb is equal to 190 and pi m, so what is the pi m value? 0.95 of pi g, and pi g is the generator flux. Now you can see here pi g gets cancelled, so Ng is equal to 210 by 190 into 0.95 into 1000. So if we calculate the generator speed, you can see here this is the 19th term. You can calculate 210 by 190 into 950, so you may get 5 times. Now Ng is equal to 1050 rpm. Now you can see here, so generator speed is 1050 rpm whereas the motor speed is 1000 rpm. Now the generator speed increased since the flux is going to decrease. So motor flux is decreased, so generator speed is going to be increased. So that means in terms of generator the flux is pi g, now it is decreased in case of motor, so speed is going to be increased. So that's why when the flux decreased, so generator flux decreased, so you will get the motor speed is going to be increased.